Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on CapnclydesMTG. We're in full swing of Final Fantasy leaks. Previews, spoilers, call them what you will. But we've got more sweet cards from Final Fantasy, and, well, they're kind of campy. But let's hope it's all not this bad or, I guess, good in some situations. We'll have to wait and see. But before we get started and look at the cards, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Links in the description for ways to support the channel: eBay, TCG Player, Patreon. Be a YouTube member. Get the videos early. It's a good time. Let's hook up in Discord, play some games, and chill. So, without further ado, let's take a look at some of the interesting leaks we have from Final Fantasy. We're going to start off with Cloud. He has a regular card in the set, apparently. A white, red 3 for a 4/4. It says during your turn, as long as he's equipped, he gets double strike. Equipped abilities you activate that target Cloud cost 2 less. This is really bad. I just don't know what else to say. Like, I expected better out of Cloud's card than this. In my opinion, this is just horrible. I mean, Commander, yeah, sure, but like this is not going to see a whole lot of action, in my opinion, which is sad because the whole point of these sets, especially Final Fantasy and Universes Beyond, is to see the cards to see play. But whatever, I guess. We got something a little better after this, so we do have Sephiroth, Planet's Heir. He's a little better. He is 6 mana for a 4/4. However, he does have Vigilance. When he comes in, he gives -2/-2 to all your opponent's creatures, which is cool. Can kill some stuff. And at the same time, if he does kill anybody, whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on him. If the -2/-2 don't do it, well, just anytime you kill something, he gets a counter. So this feels a lot better and a lot more playable. Very much similar to Singer Vampire, but better. Which I would kind of guess that would make Cloud more like a Sarah Angel. But to be honest, I'm just not feeling it. Just not feeling the whole Cloud card, sadly. So other than these two heavy hitters, we have a card of Euster here. Black, blue, and 1 for a 1/3 ninja. Guess what? She has Commander Ninjutsu. That's right, Ninjutsu from the command field. Also, whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, reveal a top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's mana value. Yuffie is a powerhouse. However, notice here, it says that it is Yoko the Tiger's Shadow reprint. So, interesting. Not sure how true that is. Was kind of hoping for a card that, you know, was new and cool. But, I mean, I guess a reprint with new skin is where we're going to be going with this set. God, I hope not. All right, so moving on. Well, this also has a tendency to say that some cards that are reprinted will have Final Fantasy skins, kind of like a, we'll say, special guest card per se, or much like we saw with the, vampires, Godzilla style cards, which that would be cool if they did that. Next, we have a reprint, Dragon of Mount Gulp. This is the Ancient Copper Dragon, 2 red and 4 colorless. For the 6/5 flyer, whenever it deals combat damage to player, you roll a die 20, create that many treasure tokens. Probably a decent reprint. The dragons are very expensive for just what they are. But again, this kind of signals back to a lot of reskins of old cards, which I'm kind of hoping that's not where we go with this. Next, we have Sajon's Chocobo. So, 1 green 0/1. It has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, play a +1/+1 counter on this creature. We have had a card very similar to this. I think it also got flying, though, and I think it was 2 mana, maybe. But this is a great card. We'll probably see play in landfall decks. Or just in general as a 1 green 0/1. This can get out of hand very, very fast. With fetches and everything else going on, yeah, this could be crazy. The next card we have is Slitskin Moogle Merchant. 1 white, 1/2 with lifelink. Not too shabby. 2 on the butt, so it doesn't die to the cheap removal spells, but does die to most of them. It also has, for 2 and tapping it, target opponent gains control of another target permanent you control. If they do, you draw a card. I mean, okay. This is very interesting. One thing about this, it could do very well for gifts decks that kind of, gift away the enchantments that would normally kill you. This gives you another option to do that. Plus, you get to draw a card. Lots of good things going on here. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the formats. But not terrible. Next, we have Cecil the Dark Knight. Oh, love my boy here. Love old Cecil. He's looking pretty sweet, actually. 1 black for a 2/3 with Death Touch. Now, whenever he deals damage, you lose that much life. So you're pretty much, if he's a 2/3. If he deals 2, you're losing 2. If your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, you get to untap and transform him. He then becomes the Redeemed Paladin. If you played the games, you know what that means. And if you haven't, shame on you. That is a 4/4 life linker that whenever he attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible. This is a powerhouse. Cecil from Final Fantasy II. At least they did him right, I guess. This is very on flavor for how he went down. And it's got some pretty sweet skills, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, you lose life, they lose life. There's all kinds of cards that are black that work with those shenanigans of where they lose life, you gain life. If you lose life, your opponent... I mean, it's got combo all over it. So, yeah, this card is going to be sweet. It probably should have been a mythic, to be honest. Next, we have Sin, Spara's Punishment. So, blue, green, black, and 4 for a Leviathan avatar. It's a 7/7 flyer. Whenever it enters or attacks, you exile a permanent card from your graveyard at random, then create a token, a tapped token, excuse me, that's a copy of that card. If the exile card is a land card, repeat the process. This seems pretty sweet just as a one-of, or we'll say something to cheat out of the graveyard. Probably very popular as those mechanics go, especially with black in the casting cost. You just got to find a way to get it in your graveyard. But don't worry, you're playing blue, and plenty of ways to draw and discard. I think this will be popular. Seems really good. Pretty on flavor. And also very powerful. Next, we have Emet Slush. I call him Slush. The Unsunderer. So, black, blue, and 1 for a 2/4 Elder Wizard. He has Vigilance. Whenever he enters or attacks, you draw a card, then discard. This is an amazing card for 3. Beginning of your upkeep, if there are 14 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform him, which he then becomes the 6/6 Hades Sorcerer of Eld. He has Vigilance. He also has Echo of the Lost. During your turn, you may play cards from your graveyard. Busted. If a card or token will be put in your graveyard from anywhere, you exile it instead. This is a mythic. Holy cow. Is this a mythic? Yeah, this is going to be popular, especially for blue-black. This thing's just house by itself, let alone in a blue-back deck when it's not the commander. Heaven forbid if it is. So, yeah, here's something to look forward to. Next, we have Garland, Knight of Corellia. Boy, good old Garland from Final Fantasy 1. So, red and black for a 3/2. Pretty sweet. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get to surveil 1. Nice. For 2 red, 2 black, and 3, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield transformed. Activate only as a sorcery. He comes back from the graveyard. He's a 5/5 flyer. When he dies, you put him on the bottom of your library. Very on flavor for how he kind of was in the game, because you fight him first, and you also fight him last. This card seems powerful, and it's even an uncommon. Like a 3/2 for 2 is already sweet with the ability to surveil when you cast non-creature spells. And then you want him to die, so you don't care if you kill a creature with him or whatever, because once you get to that 7 mana, you just put him on the board the other side. He's a 5/5 flyer. I mean, whew. I mean, it'll be hard to get there till really late in the game or what have you, but this card just seems sweet. I mean, early game, late game play seems good for an uncommon. Looks like we have summons, and it looks like the summons are going to be sagas. So we have the summon of Shiva here, 2 blue and 3. It says is a 4/5 saga elemental. As the saga enters, and after your draw step, add a lore counter. So at 1, you have Heavenly Strike. Tap target creature an opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. That happens twice. And then you have Diamond Dust. Draw a card for each tap creature your opponent controls. This thing is also a 4/5, so I'm pretty sure what this means is this is an enchantment creature. So you have a creature that's also a saga. This is crazy. You get all the benefits of the saga, plus you got a 4/5 to attack and block with. It does make it easier to kill since you can target it with removal. Creature removal, that is. But seems like a really cool combination, and if we start seeing this in standard and other things like that, it's going to get wild out there. All right, next we have a Tonberry. Dun, 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 dun. 1 black for this 2/1. It enters tap with a stun counter on it, so it doesn't untap right away. But when it does, it has Chef's Knife, which is during your turn, it has First Strike and Death Touch, which means you're swinging and he's not getting blocked. Hands down, because you're going to have to block this thing with 3 creatures of at least 1 power. And that's if shenanigans don't happen. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty sweet uncommon. Plus it's a horror. It will probably see some play. And the foil of this card is just going to be sweet. That's right, the Jumbo Cactar are here. So this abomination is 2 green and 5. It has 10,000 needles. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets plus 9999 plus 0 until end of turn. It starts off as a 1/7. So basically, when it swings, it's a 10,007. That's right. We have went straight to Yu-Gi-Oh! This is going to be nuts. It's going to take 1 trample spell or whatever other shenanigans going on once you put this into play for cheap by pulling it out of your graveyard, telling it into play, breach, whatever. Yeah, this abomination is just going to be something you're going to have to deal with. And it ain't going to be easy because it's got high mana cost and it's got more than 5 power and toughness total. Lots of things going on here. It's going to be hard to deal with. Thank God it's green, I guess. But kind of on flavor. But sadly, maybe a bit too much. This, woof, boy. All right, so with that said, next we have a side quest, which is to catch a fish. So for a white and 2 enchantment, at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's an artifact or a creature card, you may reveal it, put it in your hand. If you put a card into your hand this way, you create a food token and transform the enchantment. Once transformed, it becomes a land. You can tap for a white, and for 3 and tap and sacrifice again artifact, you can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Only as a sorcery, though. Not too bad. I mean, this will probably be good in Commander in some way, shape, or form, but other than that, probably not. Gavany Township has a similar effect, and it doesn't see play anymore at all, sadly. I mean, this is a little cheaper. However, you got to jump through some hoops to get it to flip over to do it, so, there is that. So, with that said, guys, here's the cards we've seen so far, as long as they're real. And they kind of look like they are. And if they are, I kind of have mixed emotions at the moment. Because some of them are cool and on flavor, some of them are not cool and way off base. But, hey, what do you expect? It's Wizards. They're going to screw it up somehow, probably. So with that said, guys, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Until next time, be kind. Shout out to Sawyer. Thanks a lot, buddy, for being a member of the channel and supporting us. I hope to see you across from the game table. Swear to God, if you kill me with a giant cactus, I'm flipping the table. Jesus.